All right, what is good, everybody? Welcome to the Spiritual War Room. We're here to do a true crime reading. In this reading, we're going to look into the Suitcase murder. This is the death of George Torres, a 42-year-old man who died after being left in a suitcase by his girlfriend, Sarah Boone. So, Sarah told police that her and George were playing a game of hide and seek, and that George hid in the suitcase where she would, find him later the next day dead. But she insists that his death was an accident and that it was supposed to be an innocent game, right? But she never let George out, and she claims that she had gone upstairs, fell asleep, unintentionally, of course. Um, so why wouldn't Boone just let Taurus out before going upstairs? Okay, so Sarah recorded multiple videos of George while he was in the suitcase, and in a 2-minute video that Sarah recorded on her phone, George is heard playing. George is heard pleading with Sarah to let him out, saying that he can't breathe. And as he's saying, "I can't breathe," she responds by saying, "No, that's how I feel when you cheat on me." She said that. So that could be a factor. There could have been some cheating going on. Um, and Boone is also heard saying, um, "For everything that you've done to me." So what she was doing was for everything that he had ever done to her. So there was a lot of anger and resentment, right? For her to do something like that and you know record him as he's suffering, and he's telling her, I can't breathe," and she's like, "Well, that's how I feel when you cheat on me." So she obviously wanted to have some kind of get back, right? Oh, in the video, you can also kind of tell that she had been drinking, and Sarah did admit that they had been drinking wine. So, um, I guess I guess it could have been possible that she had gone upstairs and fallen asleep. Um, However, their past could be a cause for concern, right? Alcohol mixed with the history of physical violence in a relationship could be a very dangerous combination, especially if cheating is a factor. Okay. Um, so, was this all a drunken prank gone wrong, or was this something intentionally sinister? We're going to look into it, okay, guys? All right. Um, so, some of the questions that we're going to look into when looking into this case: what was Sarah and George's relationship like? Okay, so we're gonna get pull some cards and get the story about their relationship. We're also gonna look into why did Sarah make that comment about cheating? Was there cheating going on? And did this have something to do with what happened that night? Um, I also want to know if there had been a fight prior, a fight or an argument prior to this, because she kind of made it sound like everything was like all fun and games. And I kind of believe that it had to be kind of all fun and games, because how are you going to get a man who you're arguing and fighting with to get in a suitcase unless you're playing some kind of game? Like, to me, I'm thinking um if like she says something about hide and seek. So like they're drunk and she's probably like, "Oh, well, if we were to hide, where would you hide? Could you fit in the suitcase?" "Yeah, yeah, I could fit in the suitcase. I don't know, let me see." And she, something like that. She had to kind of like play games, like to try and get him in, not she couldn't let him know that something was up. That's kind of what I'm getting. um so I kind of want to look into, had there been a fight or an argument prior to that? If not, like, I just kind of want to look into that. I don't know what's going to come out. We'll see. Some of these questions that I have could be answered by some of the other cards that we pull, so we just don't know, okay? But I have these questions down so I know certain things I wanted to look into. Okay, so again, how did he end up in the suitcase? What's the story that night? Obviously, did he get in willingly? I want to know that. He had to I don't know. I'm trying to like understand it as I'm going through the questions. Okay, so moving on. Why was the suitcase in the living room? Did somebody come home from vacation? Was somebody packing to leave? Is that just where they stored it? I want to know. It just kind of seemed out of place, and why was it there? I kind of keep getting this feeling of premeditated, that it was premeditated. Like, I don't know. We're gonna look into it. So why was the suitcase in the living room? Let's anything else? Prior. I want to know if she had prior knowledge of cheating. Because if it was premeditated, there had to be a motive. So maybe she knew of some infidelity that was happening beforehand, before this happened, and she was like, I've had enough. I'm going to, tonight we're going to drink, we're going to play games, I'm going to get him in there, and then I'm going to leave him in there and make him suffer. I don't know. It could have been something like that. So, did she have prior knowledge of George cheating? So, one other thing that I heard in a video that I watched was about her first call was to her ex-husband. I wanted to know, what did they talk about? Okay, so we're going to look into that. Okay, so we're going to also look into what Sarah's hiding. What would George like to say to his family or to Sarah? So we're going to try and get some messages to come through there. Okay, and then, yeah, I think we're going to go from there. We might do an update because Sarah Boone's court-appointed attorney, Frank Bankowitz, has withdrawn from representing her, so she has a new attorney, Winston Hobson, who has taken over her, he's taken over her case. So Judge, what's his name? Judge Wooten? Wayne Wooten has set a status hearing for October 30th. So this is going to be like their update to see where her attorney is and if he thinks it's even possible to continue on with the pre-trial, which is set for November 28th. Okay, so we will look into the likely outcome for Sarah Boone for October 30th when she has her status hearing. So we're gonna I'm gonna ask and look into those questions that I have just went over, and yeah, I'm gonna put the timestamps for these for this reading down below. I'll put all the timestamps, so if it is a long reading, you can just kind of skip and go through certain questions. Okay. All right, before we jump into this, don't forget to show me some love, like, share, subscribe. Remember, guys, sending me good energy means you're going to get good energy back, all right? All right, guys, so we're going to start by looking into George and Sarah's relationship. What was George and Sarah's relationship like? What was their relationship like? George and Sarah's relationship. Okay. Okay. So I'm getting, he's coming through as the horned god. This is the emperor. She could have met him at work, or she could have met him at his place of work, or he could have met her at her place of work. Maybe someone took some time and maybe went back and maybe offered some kind of relationship, right? That's how it started. But there was a lot of stress in this relationship. There was a lot of turbulent moments with the tower. It could have been because of his family and him starting something new. It's like out of all these options, why pick this one? 10 of Athens. His family didn't support this relationship. It's almost like they saw her as like a backstabber. Like there was something, you know, that they didn't, something just didn't sit right with them. Like I'm being drawn to the skunk. Like something didn't smell right with her. And the knives that he's hiding behind his back. It's like, I come bearing gifts. He has fish. Is it fish or? I'm not really sure what it is. He's carrying he's carrying something like a gift, but I'm almost getting like that's how his family saw her. Like he wanted to give it a shot, but it was very turbulent because of the family. Like the family didn't like her. The family sensed something was not right about her. They didn't like her. And they were like, well, out of all these options, why this one? So that's how that's what their relationship was like. It was like from the beginning, someone knew something wasn't right. They were hiding something. They try to come off very bright, sunny, very happy, but they knew something was like just... something wasn't right with this. Queen of Wands. Maybe it was a lot of grief for him. He really wanted to try and see if he could make this work, and... yeah, no. He tried. But it could have been a lot of conflict with the family too. Like the family didn't like her. You know, the family could have tried to convince him to move away. And that could have pissed her off too. Like, how, you know, you don't stand up for me against your family, but the family didn't trust her. Why didn't the family trust her? Why didn't the family trust her? Why didn't the family trust her? It could have also been that he could have already had a family. Maybe he had children. I see 2 children here. Maybe he had kids. And it's like, the family didn't like her because they felt like that George should have been focused more on his family rather than options. Yeah, focus on the family. Because anytime he got like involved with this one, it just ended in stress and worry and anxiety. There was always these tower moments that would hit between the two of them. So the family didn't like it. It's like, stop messing around with this person who's just bringing all this stress and focus on your kids, man. That's what you need to do. And he's like, yeah, you're right. He's thinking about it. So yeah, that's why the family didn't like her. It's like, you bring a lot of chaos to his life when he should be focusing on his children. If you were gonna, I think they would be more open to accepting her if she was bringing more stability for him and his children, but I don't think that's what it, yeah. He didn't, or she didn't, I don't think she really liked that. It's almost like he would go, like, maybe visit his kids, and she would be all like, fine, go then, I guess. You know. But she was trying to make the police think that she cared about his family, that she encouraged him to connect more with his family, but I don't think she liked it. Yeah, she didn't like when he would go off to visit his children, because she was always worried that he was messing around with his ex. Yeah, because they had history. He had history with this, the mother of his children. Yeah. Wow. She, it's, I'm almost getting like she would, she wasn't sure if the cycle was done yet. She believed that he was still going back with the mother of his children. I think she would stalk him to see if he was there, like what he was doing. She was really focused on that. Yeah, she would show up. She wanted to know where he was. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was what their relationship was like. So, in that video, oh, give me a sec. Okay, so Sarah Boone, in that video that she recorded, had, as George was telling her, I can't breathe, she replied by saying, that's how I feel when you cheat on me. So, was there cheating going on? What was that video comment? What was that comment that she made in that video about? Okay, Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands talks about putting up boundaries, but not sure if they had. She had been, I'm guessing that she could have been planning this. Had put in the, like, putting in the work, planning this out, how it was gonna look. Okay, so we're looking into, what was the video comment about? That's how I feel when you cheat on me. So she had been plotting and planning to do this. How did she plan to do this? I'm being drawn to how she's pouring. You know, they could have been, you know, they were drinking, right? They were drinking wine. They were supposed to have, like, they were supposed to be having fun, right? Food, snacks, game night, wine, stuff like that. And he's drinking. And then she's like, hey, you want to play a game? Yep. Because she was plotting this. This was premeditated. This was premeditated because, you know, she was plotting on this man because she was angry. She was upset that he was still connected to the mother of his children. His children. She wasn't sure. She was not sure if he still had love for her. And this caused her a lot of she worried about this. She stayed up at night wondering, does he still love her? And oh my God. So the video comment, she already knew that he was messing around. Or she had it in her head. She was convinced that he was cheating on her. She was convinced that he was cheating on her. I don't know if it's true, though. Knight of Athens. There could have been some kind of impulsive thing said that, or something that was said like accidentally. Like they didn't mean to say whatever was said. And it could have something to do with maybe walking away, leaving a situation, maybe leaving a relationship. It could have been him to let it slip that he wanted to leave her. Or it could have been a message that she saw online. Okay. Video call. Anything. Okay. So it was, the plan was to, she was like, I'm getting all drunk, and then I'll strike. Spirit says that's the truth. She thought she was going to be able to hide this. Yeah, she... What is this? What is the Lord of the Shadow? Or no, I'm sorry. What's the Three of Pentacles right here? Death. Got death twice. What's the Three of Pentacles? Two of Wands. Oh. Was there someone else? Oh. This could be her husband, her ex-husband. Yeah. Because there's someone else involved, like... Disgusting. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Keep your mouth shut. Remember with the Strength card, how he's holding this dragon's mouth closed. So whoever this third party, the ex-husband, because that's one of the questions I wanted to ask. What did they talk about? Her first call was to her ex-husband. What did they talk about? He's telling her, keep your mouth shut. You don't know if anyone... I don't know, like... So... Okay, we're... and the Page of Swords. There's some kind of communication between the two of them that's going to get them caught up. What were they after? It could have been some kind of will. No. Was it a will? I don't know. What is this? Page of Swords. The Devil. Maybe it's statements. Maybe written statements. Like, keep your mouth shut, don't say anything. This could have been when they were interrogating him and interrogating her. She was able to get out of it, like, I don't know, like, she was, what is this, like, able to avoid choking on her own lies during this. So that's what he's trying to get her to remember. Keep your mouth shut. Don't talk about anything. Don't say anything that can incriminate yourself. You don't want to end up choking on your own fucking lies. Don't say it. Don't say a word. That's what he's saying. You know, they're going to be writing down everything you say, right? Everything you say is going to be written down, and they're going to be consulting, going back to, well, on this day you said this, right? So he's telling her, you better keep your mouth shut. So the husband, her ex-husband, knew something. He knew something. He was helping her avoid incriminating herself. Okay. Let's move on to see it, to look into if there was a prior fight or argument that took place before all this happened, before the suitcase. Before George got in the suitcase, was there an argument or? No. There was not. If anything, he went over thinking everything was cool. Like, the Ace of Cups, like, I'll bring wine. But there's something that she's hiding, you know? She's hiding something. The High Priest. I think he knew it. He knew something was off. Maybe she was acting funny. Eight of Wands. The way she was communicating. It was like coded, like, oh, like, well, did you see, you know, your ex? I don't know, like, just alluding to certain things. So he knew something was off about her behavior that day. So there wasn't an argument prior to her putting him in the suitcase or him getting in the suitcase. But there was something strange about the way she was talking to him. He knew something was up. It's like when a woman is asking you questions that, you know, that she already knows the answer to. Like, he knew something was up. When she wanted to play this game, he knew something was. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so maybe he didn't even realize what was really going on until he was left in that suitcase. You know, he thought everything was all fun and games, drank maybe a little bit too much. He thought this was a game, and then when she started to speak like this, that's how I feel when you cheat on me. This is for what you've done. And he's like, babe, Sarah let me out. Because he's like, at that moment is when it hit him. Oh shit, this bitch knows something. She knows something. She knows the truth about the mother of my children. And that's when that tower hit. I've been tricked by my partner. I came here just to be backstabbed. Damn. He didn't realize what the hell was going on until he was in that suitcase and she was making those comments. That's when the fear and the panic started to set in. Like, okay, Sarah, babe, okay, this isn't funny anymore. Let me out. And she's like, you know, this is for everything you've done. And he's like, shit. She's pissed. She's not gonna let me out. It's almost like she was keeping score of every time he fucked her over. There's 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, you know, and it doesn't even have to be that he fucked her over. It could have been like, oh, you didn't answer my call because you were talking to so-and-so, or, you know, you stayed 30 minutes later at your kids' house, or, you know, whatever, your baby mom's house, something like that. So there wasn't a fight prior to it, you know. She had plotted to get him there, get him drunk, play some games. We're going to have a fun night. Oh, I bet you wouldn't fit in there. Yes, I could. Let me see. Zip it up. And, oh, guess what? By the way, I know what the fuck you did. That's probably why she flipped it over. Because if he was the other way, because she did flip the suitcase. Had she not done that, maybe he could have gotten out. But he's cramped in that position, in such a funky position, and he gets turned over. I don't know what position he was in, but I'm having a hard time like breathing. It's like it's making me feel, you know, claustrophobic. Like I want to panic because just the thought of being in that, like I don't. That's crazy. You know, she probably flipped it, make it harder for him to actually get out. Maybe again, like I don't know what position he was in, but I'm just taking it like it. Even face up couldn't be an easy position to be in. It's just, oof, man. Okay, so that was we were looking into, was there a fight or an argument prior to him getting in the suitcase, and I'm getting it. There wasn't. This was really, to him, he thought this was all like fun and games. So he didn't think that she was trying to kill him. It didn't hit him until he was stuck in there, and she started to say the things that she said. I think we already kind of went over this, but the next question was that we were going to look into was how did he end up in the suitcase? But I think I just channeled that. Like, yeah, it was a game. She was hiding her true intentions. She just needed to get him in there, think that they were playing a game. And then that's when she was, get him drunk. Here we go. Spirit says that's the truth. That's exactly how she got him in there. It's a game. She was hiding her intentions. What she needed to do was get him just a little bit drunk to get in there. Once she got him in there, that's when all hell broke loose for him. That's when the reality set in, the truth set in, that this wasn't all fun and games, that with his lover, that she was angry. She was angry at him. She got him drunk. It's about drinking. She wanted him, you know, a little bit intoxicated, so he was easier to convince. Right, this was part of her plan. Okay, so yeah, that's how she got him into the suitcase. So why was the suitcase there in the first place? Why was the suitcase there? Why was the suitcase in the living room? Or because this was her plan. Hold on. I'm not really sure. So the Queen of Athens is someone who's strategic. I am going to bring this tower down. 4 of Cups. Oh. It was a plan that she had came up with a while back. Remember I was saying she was keeping score of how many times he fucked her over. And she was like, the next time I'm going to make this plan, and the next time I'm going to put this little plan in my bag and leave it in there for the next time that this guy pisses me off. And she was like, we're going to paint, we're going to do arts and crafts, we're going to have a, fun. And then he did it. He pissed her off. And she's like, all that time I've been putting work into this, and now it's time to, put it into action. It's almost like she just had it with him. And she did it. Yeah, Judgment. She feels like her doing this was bringing justice to herself. Like, she needed to do this to stand up for herself because of all the heartache that he caused. He needed to reflect. Oh, look at hope and reflection. That's what it says, hope and reflection. The coffin. It's like she put him in this suitcase so he can reflect on what he did to her. She really, oh my God. And she flipped that shit. She flipped that shit while her partner was in there. She flipped it. And then she left. She said that she went upstairs, but I got this when I was like pulling the first time I was looking into this, and I got the same thing that she got in her car. She could have gone somewhere. She drove off. She wasn't in the house. She said she went upstairs, fell asleep. I don't think she was. She drove off because he was already dead. She left the house. She couldn't be in the house. She couldn't be in the house. Damn. Yeah, she couldn't bring herself to be in the house. Did she? Okay, so she put him in there to reflect on his misdeeds, right? Was it her intention to kill him? I think she wanted to punish him, but was it her intention? We have the Magician, King of Wands, Queen of Swords. So she was speaking. She was upset. Yeah, she wanted to bring justice or judgment upon him for being a player, which she could have known something. Maybe she knew that he was something about his marriage. He could have his marriage. Was he married? Or if he wasn't married, he was probably trying to mend the relationship with the mother of his children. And he could have been doing this in secret. And maybe she found out about this, that he was behind the scenes. He was trying to, he was still, messing around with her, but behind the scenes he wasn't telling her, just in case it didn't work out, that he was trying to mend things with his ex. She found out and felt like she was justified in calling judgment on him. And so now she's saying it was, it was just a game. It was an accident. I'm being drawn to the suitcase that he's carrying with the heart on it. My lover is in there because my lover wanted to give his heart to another. So therefore, I'm calling judgment on him for this. Wow, devil at the bottom. So guys, give me a second. She left. She had to leave the house. And give it enough time. It's almost like she could have gone out for a drink. Maybe she went out somewhere and got a drink. To let the clock run out. Maybe he was still alive when she left, and she was like, well, I need to leave him in there a little bit longer. So yes, I don't know why I was questioning it again. The authorities are, maybe they saw her somewhere. Maybe they have video of her somewhere at a certain time. It's like, well, I don't know. Yeah, Spirit saying that's the truth. While your lover was in that suitcase, you were out running around, and you're saying that you called for help when you woke up the next day, and you didn't know what had happened, but you were seen out. I don't know, something like that. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Let's continue on and see if there is anything else that Sarah is hiding. We have the Ten of Cups. Let's see if there's anything else that Sarah is hiding. Ten of Cups. I'm not really sure what that's about yet. This talks about family. Judgment. We have the Chariot, Eight of Cups, I was asking if there's anything else that we need to know about Sarah, if there's anything else that she's hiding. But I'm getting this as a message that like the family is really hurt by what she did, and that she lied. She lied because, there was cruelty, but it was like, it was on both ends. It wasn't just one party where she's trying to cut herself out of it. Like, I wasn't involved in that. What's gonna get her really caught up is, maybe her ex-husband. Maybe the ex-husband has more information about all the time that George would have pissed off Sarah because she called him a lot, maybe. It was almost like he knew that it was like building up, that she was becoming more and more I keep hearing unhinged. But she doesn't want, she doesn't want people to think that. I excel. She wants people to believe that she's not capable of doing something like this. Everything I put my mind to, I accomplish, but this bitch is confused. Okay. Not so much anything that she's hiding, other than everything that came out and what she's hiding is stuff that's already came out. But there could be more to the communication she had with her ex-husband. There could be something there that investigators might be looking into. So let's see if we can get a message from George to his family, a message to Sarah. Let's see if there's anything that wants to come through. 8 of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles, I'm hearing perfecting your craft. 8 of Pentacles could talk about, it talks about perfecting one's craft. The way she has her hands, just, I don't know, I kind of get this sense of like something very sinister. She's plotting something, just waiting like for the moment where she can put her plan into action. What was this plan? To make her lover, her partner, reflect on what he's done to hurt her by shutting him into this coffin, right? That was her hope, that this emperor would reflect on the pain that he's caused her. So what does he want to say to her? 10 of Swords, it's over for you, bitch. It's over, it's done, you're done. Wow. You can call for help, but no one's going to be able to help you, he's saying. Three of Pentacles. He's saying, I was trying to grow with you while nurturing another relationship. It's almost like he's like saying, I understand. But you weren't so innocent. So your ex, he's saying, okay, yes, I was wrong for nurturing another relationship while trying to make you believe that we had something going on. But she was doing that as well. Like, her connection to her ex was still there. So, he always felt really insecure about that connection. It's almost like they didn't trust one another. So he's saying, he's saying, I was wrong, but you did the same thing. Like, if judgment was called on me, judgment will be called on you. As you judge, you too shall be judged. So that's what his message is to her, is to Sarah Boone. That's what...
I don't have a place.
Oh, shh.
From the comfort of...
That shit scared the... Oh my god, that scared the fuck out of me. Oh my god. I was not expecting that. Whew. Okay, so that was his message to Sarah. As you judge, you too shall be judged. Okay. Does George have a message for his family? His family could feel really like they just don't know where to go with this. But he wants his family to know, I'm watching over you and I love you. Don't allow this to consume your mind. It's okay to move forward. There are good things ahead. Do not dwell in the past, wondering about him. Once the cycle is closed out, he'll be able to move on to the next stage of his journey. But this chapter does need to get closed out. He's waiting. He's just waiting for this to be resolved. I don't know. Like, he wants the truth to be out about what happened. He's not even coming through like he was completely innocent in all this. You know, he's just ready to move on after this. He's still in, like, this limbo state because will justice be served? Because this was a wicked thing done to him. And this is something that she had been planning and plotting for some time while claiming to love him, right? But, you know, again, it's not even that he's coming through like, I'm so innocent in all this. If anything, he was apologetic. Saying, you know, yeah, I fucked up, but like I fucked up and you judged me, you fucked up and you shall be judged too. But let's get a message for his family. He could feel like he didn't do enough for his family, that he did this to himself. He judged himself like, there's another one of my fuck-ups, there's another one of my fuck-ups, there's another one of my fuck-ups. So he really felt like he let his family down. So what does... Page of Swords. If it's like delivering a message, okay? I'm almost getting like he wants his family to know that if this ex of his with the Lovers, something about a message, holding on to a message, or delivering a message saying, oh, he don't want anything to do with you, or something like that. She could be saying, Sarah Boone could be saying, oh, he told me all about his family and how wicked they were, and they didn't, you know, I don't know, how he didn't care for them. So his family's a little confused. Like, there could be some kind of misunderstanding. She could have said something that has his family wondering about him. Maybe, we have two masculines here. Okay. This could be a message to his brother. Maybe there was a message that he was trying to talk to him, but the lover's like, no, you can't, like, get off the phone or some shit like that, right? This is a message. Like, something about the communication. What about this communication? What do you want to say to your brother or to your Four of Cups? It's almost like he wants to say sorry for not being more stable or being home more or coming home more. I'm sorry. I didn't know the secrets that this bitch had. This. He wants to tell his brother, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not being around more. If you're wondering if we love you, if I loved you, I do. Don't listen to any of the lies that this one says. This person is a backstabber. This person is a manipulator. This person will toast with you and celebrate with you, will backstab you. That's what he wants to tell his brother about the Empress, who's this devil. Nine of Cups. It's almost like he's telling him to cherish the family, cherish home, cherish that. Be strong for your family. That's the truth, says this Emperor. I didn't value that, and that's what took me, because I danced with the devil over here. Yeah. So his message to his brother is to cherish family, cherish the home. It's almost like the looks don't, not like physical looks, but how society sees people, right? She wanted to, in her interrogation, Sarah Boone, as the police were interrogating her, she had said something about like, oh, I'm a straight A student, like I can do anything. Like, she really, I'm getting like grandiose narcissism. Like, she really believed really highly of herself. Like, her defense was like, I was a straight A student, and this bitch is like 40 some years old. And that was her defense, you know. So she really thought of herself very highly, and so she probably was able to kind of, I don't know, pull the wool over his eyes to make him believe that, oh, well, maybe she is pretty great, she's intelligent, she, you know, whatever. And like, just to find out that she's like worse than, you know, some of the hood girls that he was used to, you know, he knew, or something like that. So it's almost like, don't allow someone's degree or money, and I don't even know if she had money like that, but don't let that superficial bullshit cloud your judgment. You know, appreciate the things that really make you happy and bring joy and peace into your life, because this man didn't have that peace, and I think that's why he didn't have that peace with himself, and so he didn't have that peace in his relationships. But, you know, same with Sarah, she didn't have that peace within herself, so her relationships were going to be pretty turbulent, and that bleeds over into the connections with your family and friends. And, you know, unfortunately, we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone. And I think this is even for him, even after life, he's trying to send that message to his family to appreciate what's important, not to let things, what you think is going to be is going to look good or be good for you, because that's what society says or what society has you believing. You know, whatever society has you believing you need to do to be considered respectable, or to even be looked at with, to be treated with an ounce of respect or decency as a human being. You know, people look down on others. And it doesn't matter where you fall on the social ladder. There's always going to be someone who's bigger and better, that looks bigger and better, who sounds smarter and more intelligent. I mean, but that really doesn't measure you as an individual. That's just society's way to measure a person. But what he's saying here is like, don't measure yourself by that. You know, there was a clip that talked about Mexicans and who's the most overworked and underpaid Mexicans, but who's the most happy? Which people are the happiest, even though they have less, because they're the least paid. I think that's what he was saying. But at the end he was saying, but they're the happiest because, you know, they'll have barbecues at the park every weekend, hanging out with their families. They know how to enjoy the things that actually matter. It doesn't matter if you have tons of money, you know, that stuff doesn't matter. And that's what he's saying here is like, don't let superficial things, you know, lead you astray from the things that actually matter. I thought this person was something special just to get into this relationship, just to find out it's not what I thought it was. And then, you know, secretly trying to make things work with my ex just so I, you know, can try and get away from this chick. And this chick, this is crazy, man. This is some crazy stuff. Well, guys, okay. So we looked into, I think, most of the questions that I had. This was a message from George to his family. So let's see, what is the likely outcome for Sarah Boone on October 30th, which is her status hearing. Because she has a new attorney, the judge wants to know where does he stand on moving forward with the case, and they're gonna, you know, figure that out on the 30th. So let's see what's the likely outcome for October 30th. I'm not ready. I need more information. I need experts, and I need money to pay for it. Because they want experts to come and debunk it, like about, you know, I don't know what kind of specialist, but I keep thinking of Breaking Bad, where Jesse tells Walt, you know, when you have your back against the wall, you don't need a criminal lawyer, you need a criminal lawyer. So you need somebody who's going to put you on the stand even though they know you're lying. They need somebody who has connections to other people who will lie for you, a specialist that will lie for you to, you know, make sure. Yeah, because she put that final nail in the coffin. She closed up that's what they're trying to disprove. That's the specialist she wants, or she needs, to come and say how there was enough, you know, space for him to open it if he wanted to, but he didn't, you know. But they need to pay somebody enough money to come and lie like that. But they won't. They can't, you know, no, they're not going to, no attorney in their right mind is going to put up their own money to get someone to come lie when they know this is a case that they just can't win. Maybe she doesn't want to. Maybe this is the problem with the attorneys, is that they're telling her, look, we're not going to win this. And she's like, damn it, I'm not going to plead guilty. She's just like, no, I'm not going to do it. You better hire somebody to get on that stand and say that this was an accident. It was a freak accident. And her attorneys are like, I don't know. So this is probably going to be the issue coming up, that they need somebody who's an expert on this. I don't know, looking into the suitcase and was it possible for him to get out, and you know, I don't know, whatever. I don't think that it's the devil. They need somebody to hire. They need to hire somebody who will say that this devil is an innocent butterfly, but this butterfly really, you know, stabbed this emperor in the back. Okay, so what's the judge gonna say? How is the judge gonna feel about that? What's the judge gonna say about that? They're gonna have a meeting on how to move forward, because yeah, the judge is like, because he did address her and told her that if this new attorney doesn't work out, that he's gonna have to take a closer look into why that is. So it could be that they're gonna have this meeting because we can't move forward because she refuses to take some kind of deal for a case that we know that she can't win. We already know she's lying. We're not going to put her on the stand. I mean, she's asking lawyers to jeopardize their license for her. And these attorneys are like, I wouldn't do that because, you know, first of all, your case is shit. You know, there's a strong case against you for murder. Yeah, there's going to be a meeting. And it has to do with some kind of... Oh, they won't put her on the stand. They want to keep her mouth shut. They won't put her on the stand because they know she's lying. Yeah, okay. So that's the issue that's going on right now with... so this is going to be a continuation. This is going to be the issue going on October 30th when she goes before the judge again. So, I don't know, guys. We will see. Only time will tell. What is today? September 8th. Okay, so yeah. Still have a couple months. Before the status hearing. So yeah, we'll see. We'll do an update on this case when more becomes available, or if we have more information and we just want to, you know, be nosy and see what's going on in her mind. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. So I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you find these readings helpful and you have questions for your own personal investigations or stories or whatever, check out the description box. There's my email down below, so you can contact me and you can schedule your own personal readings if you feel called to do so. But if not, and this is where I leave you, have a great one, guys.